A lot of times you watch successful people, YouTubers, business people, writers, authors, everybody talk about the day they quit their job. So today here I am. I have less than 20 subscribers. I think I have 17, of which I know I'm pretty sure I know 15 of them, and two are probably bots of that are my subscribers. And I decided to quit my job. This is probably the most dumbest thing I've ever done, or it's gonna be the most genius thing I ever did. Why did I quit my job? I did it because I wanted to focus on becoming a creative. I want to be a creator. Call it a YouTuber, but I'm more than that. I'm a storyteller, and I want to pursue. I've had this dream my entire life of telling stories, African stories, young people stories. Now as I'm becoming older, an older person, stories and narrations, and helping people create their own narratives. It's like I have this goal that I've had my entire life to say, I want to be a creator. I want to be able to create things that influence culture, things that shape lives, that make people happy, sad. I want to create emotion. That's been my dream. That's been the thing that nags me when I go to sleep. It's like, man, I haven't created. I love making music. I love writing stories. So I was working one day, and I worked at Levi's. It's a beautiful place, beautiful people. But like any other workplace, there was work politics. There was not necessarily politics, but you'd get sometimes less hours, more times more hours. And as I was there, I was thinking to myself, man, what am I doing here? Because when you'd go sometimes without even working, so I was not there for a paycheck. And the reason I had gotten that job as my second job was because I thought, if I have this one and I make more money, then I'm able to save and build more equipment and all that stuff, all that jazz you tell yourself of why you should be hustling more and hustling harder, and why working 5 jobs is like the ultimate thing to do. How celebrities are like, I work 5 jobs in order to get me ends meet and do this. And I started to realize I was stuck in this race with a lot of people who were not on the path that I was trying to go to. When you work at a place like I worked, where you're working with a 16-year-old, and here you are a 27-year-old, and you're asking yourself the question, man, they are working to buy the latest iPhone. I'm working to pay my bills. And when you speak to the youth and they're telling you their dreams, and you start to realize how much your own dreams haven't been realized yet, and you realize the one thing you don't have is time, because you work at 9 to 5 and then rush to the next place to work at 6 to 10, to rush to take all that money when it comes in to pay your bills, and left with nothing, and your life just becomes this, you're in this endless loop. So ultimately for me, what happened was, I was folding these jeans, and this guy walks in, man, and he spoke to me like he was speaking, to some peasant, and I was in there going, man, I also have a 9 to 5 like you, but this is my side hustle. And I started to realize having a second job isn't a side hustle. I lost the purpose of why I was working my second job, and it was time for me to quit. So eventually I quit my job, and I stopped pretending and lying to myself, and I understood that my dream and my goal is to be a creator. So the only thing that creative people do is they create. They make things. They don't make excuses. They don't talk about, I didn't have money, or I didn't have this. They go ahead and do it. And they don't make excuses. They find a way. They find a way to achieve the things that they set out to achieve. There's a reason those celebrities say I work five jobs a week. They were not just working for the sake of working, but they were working so that they could take that money and go do their acting lessons, so that they could take that money and go do whatever they need to do in order to achieve what they need to achieve. So each job has a purpose. It's not just about working. And when something starts taking you away from the purpose and thing that you want to do, maybe it's time to leave. And for me, I'm gonna share with you guys how I came up with that thing of looking at having 20 subscribers and deciding to quit. The one thing that I realized was, if I was to creation being a creative, it doesn't come with money. Like, you're not paid for being creative, but what you're paid for is the value that's seen from the things that you create. So the creative person in me can never do business, but the business person in me can. And I do understand what I bring to the table, but in order to bring that to the table, I need time. So if I'm working 9 to 5 and then 6 to 10, and I have to sleep 11 to, I don't know, 6, so that I can wake up and go to the gym, my life becomes stuck in this thing where I'm just in a loop. And whilst I'm doing all this, whilst it's all great and you're getting paid minimum wage, I'm losing out on time. So by the time I'm 30, I look back and say, man, I never recorded my first YouTube video, or man, I never wrote that book, I never did this because I never had time. So at some point I had to make a decision to say, you know what, as long as I have a job or income enough to pay my rent and pay my bills and buy me food, that should be enough for me to be able to sit down and work. So now I work the 9 to 5 because I need revenue, but I will dedicate the rest of my time to creating content for this channel, to help you guys, to writing my books, to making music, helping other artists make it. Because at the end of the day, when I look back at my life, I want to look back and say, I made an impact in someone's life. I don't know if I want to be able to say, man, for 50 years I paid rent. And the thing is, if you have a dream, I don't know about you guys, but it's like they haunt you in your sleep. It's like they wake you up. They're like, hey man, I thought you said you wanted this life. What are you doing with this life that you're doing? You have to decide for yourself now. Now it's time to make a decision to say, I'm gonna make these dreams become a reality, because there's a lot that's for you on the other side of your dreams. The money that you desire, the things that you wish for are on the other side, but you have to be disciplined, and you have to be willing to go the extra mile, to go that extra step to make your dreams become a reality. Because when they become a reality, the world will ask you, what did you do? And then at that moment, you're going to say, oh, I quit my job and did this. But no one ever really tells you at this time, like where I'm at, when I quit that job, man, trust me, there's nothing that hurts than not having the same level of income you're receiving come. And you're now waking up to, okay, my life, I'm betting it on one job that I might lose in this pandemic. But I started to realize in doing that, I took a bet, and I bet on myself, and to know how to use my time, to know how to create, and to know how to build a business. Now my life is my responsibility because I quit my job. I'm not telling you guys to go ahead and quit your jobs, but it's for you to have an understanding of why you're working where you're working. You know, for me, where I was working, I was getting stressed out. I was in a situation whereby, you know, sometimes you're doing things and you're like, why am I doing this? And you're feeling some type of way. So it started costing me my peace of mind, and I knew it was time to go. And this is nothing against Levi's or whatever they do. They gave me a massive opportunity, and I'll forever be grateful to them. But it was about having an understanding of who I am, and knowing that I'm not that type of person. I'm not the type of person to fold jeans and be okay with it, and go to sleep and be like, yeah, I'm making it, you know, living out my immigrant dream. It's true, it is the dream to have an opportunity to work, but it's also about having an understanding of what type of work I desire to make and wish to make, and the impact that I desire to leave. You know, I think of myself as a job creator. I'm not going to create any jobs folding jeans, but there are other people who can do that. And in living, that's an opportunity created for someone who was looking for a job, who needs that type of job. But for you, the dreamer, for me, the dreamer is, you need to have an understanding of that time doesn't wait for you. In as much as you say, oh, I work because I have to pay bills, understand that you don't have the time you think you have. And at some point, you have to make that decision to say, I will let go of this in order to pursue this. So what? I have 20 subscribers today. My only goal is to make sure I make a video that impacts someone's life. Even if it's just one person, I think then it's worth making such videos. With that being said, do not just quit your job. Have a plan and have an understanding of how you're going to do it. But if something is no longer fulfilling you and taking away from you, really consider it and think about it, and think about your next steps. Is does that thing, and this doesn't just go for a job, it's relationships, it's friendships, it's situations that don't serve you or don't help you go where you're trying to go but bring you back. You should put yourself in a position where you're able to say, enough of this, it's time to switch and do something else. With that being said, my friends, it's been nice talking to you today. It's your boy Kevin saying, see ya next week.